Top. All right, so I'm building an ITX system because I'm going to be traveling. I want to be able to edit, and not only that, video edit. I want to do podcasting on the road. Pretty much take a lot of things with me, but I want to do it compact. Instead of a laptop, the power of a laptop, I decided to get a smaller desktop. All right, I do own a couple of desktops, but not an ITX because I normally do a lot of video editing and I need the power. So I got this cool cube series, the C24 Sweet Cube. Now they have different series, and I was looking at all of them. I almost pulled the trigger of buying a used one, but I bought it brand new for another $5-6 over the actual value. It was actually even better, so it's not bad. So I got it because it came with extra accessories. I like that they give you the screwdriver, little tiny screwdriver, the air filters, all the screws that necessary. I like the box itself, and of course the instructions, because you do have to take things apart if you want to add and perform certain changes on this. All right, so we are going to actually take it apart. First of all, let's open it up. Let's take a look at the inside, and of course the handle is what I need. Got it, because I need the to carry on, to take this, not on an airplane. I'm not taking it on an airplane. We're actually driving, but I didn't want to carry something so bulky that it's going to be heavier to carry than it is to actually to take with you. So I got this little ATX. I like it, but I'm trying to figure out how am I going to fit the actual power supply, because I have to order a smaller power supply because this power supply is a little large, the one I currently have. And we're going to set up another one right now, temporary. But let me show you guys. This is the actual power supply for the actual power. If you get internal, if you can't connect it from the outside, you have the extended. So if you move your power supply somewhere else besides, most likely in this area where it's a little larger, then you're gonna have to move it around. So I like that. Plenty of room for video cards, but let me see the size. I currently have a Intel card, and it's a little too large for this card. Look at this. This is an Intel 750A. It's not gonna fit here. So I'm gonna get the best thing, which is a smaller card. We're gonna go for a 5060 Ti. We're gonna try to set that up, but today we're just gonna show you guys the case itself. And on the next video, you'll see the other process. So right now, we're just gonna put the handle, set this whole thing up. I like to give you every filter that's required. In order to remove the front case, there's screws in the bottom right here. That's why they give you the screwdriver. All right. I like that it has a lot of indentations here that you could also move the actual handle. Pretty much they give you 4 holes here. You can move it anywhere you want. So if you're not comfortable in the center, you can move it to the right. I like the design. It's beautiful. It reminds me of a bumblebee, the Transformer bumblebee. USB type A and a USB type C, power button on. That's pretty much it. And in the back, you get the manufacturer's name. Power supply will go somewhere you're gonna fit it. Most likely it's gonna be on this direction. There's plenty of space in here. Now the great thing is that I don't have to worry about adding any additional SATA or SSDs, because the motherboard has it built in already. So saves me a lot of space. All the cables are well tied down. Instructions, they give you 2 sets of instructions that I'm looking at. If you guys can see, one goes depending on your build, they give you instructions on how to open it up, how to take it apart, and 2 different languages. So today, this is what I want you to see. Beautiful case. Let's go ahead and put the handle. Now, one thing I noticed is that you could take every part to bare bone. We're not going to do that today. I'm just letting you guys know that everything is accessible to taking it apart. Now, one thing I'm gonna do, I am gonna dress it up like I said and start figuring out where I'm gonna actually set up the fans. And I do want 2 fans in here, but there are little small fans that you need to set up in here. I gotta look at my options of what I have to actually set up. And I did order a smaller power supply instead of the ATX. All right, FSA, I believe it is, smaller size. We're gonna set this up, but for right now I just want to set up the motherboard and see how it looks inside. Now, one thing I like about this, it's all set up for plug and play. You got your USB 3.0, USB Type C, and then your connection, your power supply, pretty much plug it in. And of course, it's missing a pin right there. It's blocked out, so you won't miss on the actual motherboard. The whole thing goes in there. Your setup, very simple to actually plug it in. So let's go finish it up. And all right, so we fit the motherboard into this little ITX case. Working really well. I have access to all my stuff. And now getting a space in between here it's a little tough, but I'm able to remove this out and put it back in and it runs. All right, so let me introduce it to the actual case itself. All right, it took me quite a while to actually set it up because it was not easy. All right, what I built in here, but I built a monstrosity of a gaming system and it came out incredible. Now, my wish, I wish they had more USBs, at least another one, because I do gonna do editing and move around, and I wanted to make sure I could do that too. So there's only one USB Type C and one Type A. You got the power button here. You got glass, real glass. You got plenty of space for your motherboard, which is an ITX, and then a smaller SFX fan, power supply, and then the video card. It was a challenge to put in there because this is a 5060 Ti, the 16 gig VRAM, all right, that it has in here. And then I ended up using an AMD fan that I currently had, and it's RGB lighting on there. I was able to set up miniature fans, the smallest fans I can find in here, not the miniature ones, well, the 40 millimeter, I believe it is, and then the other one too on the top. The only thing is I don't like the wiring of the actual system. It's a little messy in here, but I was able to fit everything within the actual system itself. And the handles, a little flimsy. You know, I kind of don't trust the screws a little bit because they were a little short and they kind of grab onto this. Now, airflow on this one is incredible. So every single little hole here, you can see inside. So don't take this out in the water, right? Or any kind of moisture, because it is going to get dirty in there. Dust, you're going to have to open it up and once in a while undust it because it is going to collect a lot of dust. They give you a lot of panels. They give you extra meshes. All right. And look at this part right here. There's another base here in the bottom that you could actually clean out, and you could actually add your filters in here too. Underneath of it, more footing itself, I had to screw it in the legs too. Now everything comes off. All these come off. All the yellow ones come off. That, you know what that is meant for? So you could actually paint it too. So I was thinking about changing the whole thing, making maybe aluminum or maybe even brighter. I'm thinking about changing the color, but right now I'm going to keep it as the bumblebee color, pretty much as it is. Grip, it has a great grip on the top. Like I said, one of those things that I don't know about the extra screws. Now, in the back, the power goes in here, but it goes in all the way to the front. So it has an extension so you could tether out of it. But overall, you know, the video card takes 3 slots right now. So, but if you add the 3 slots, it's because a larger video card is not going to fit in here. So a couple of video cards are only able to fit in here. You could fit the art card. You could fit NVIDIA. It's probably the only one that you're going to be able to fit really good, because it's a monstrosity of a power machine, and I was able to actually wire it in. Now, cable management was horrible in here. I'm going to show you. Just remove the cover so you guys can see. Now, like I said, this is enough room for this type of card. I was able to set up a fan here and 2 fans on the top. Now it does have 3 connections for fans, so I was able to split 2 of them for the 2 top fans, but I had to remove the top fan because there was not enough room in here. So only 1 fan I took off, and then I put the other one in the back. So instead of here, because there was not enough clearance for this, I ended up putting it in here. Now, this smaller version of the actual power supply was the only one that would fit in here. Anything else you cannot fit in here. Now, I try to minimize as much as I can. Now, unfortunately, I'm not able to change out the actual cable on this thing, because if you do change the cable on the actual system itself, it's gonna burn out. So you can only use the cable it's meant to use. All right, so that's another thing that I set back. That's the only reason I couldn't cable management as much as I want. I don't want to bend too much of the actual cable, especially for the video card and other things that are going to run. When I did the airflow, it came out really good. Heat wise, it doesn't retain too much heat in here, but of course I was in gaming during the time, so we're gonna have to be testing it out, and I'll do a follow-up video on it. 99.6 of you are not subscribers in my channel. I hope that the content helps you out and that you find it very useful, and I hope you hit the like and subscribe.